The payroll tax, of course, is being discussed in Congress, and President Obama wants the payroll tax cut to be made by surtax on millionaires and offset. The Republicans don't want the payroll tax cut at all, even though they're the party of tax cuts, because it goes to the middle class. We've been through this before. They hate that, right? They only want it for the rich. But what if there's an offset that is to their liking, not for charging millionaires, but a different kind of offset? Well, a GOP House aide told a reporter anonymously, quote, "I don't think either would pass the House, so it's a would you rather burn to death or drown type of question." Interesting analogy from a party that says that they love tax cuts. If a tax cut goes to the middle class, they think that's either drowning or burning to death. That's how much they hate it. They have no interest in the middle class. All they care about is the rich. Of course. So what are they demanding in return? They're like, well, if we're going to pass it at all, then you need to give us a lot more. And I like this about President Obama's press conference this morning. He came out and said, look, this is not about getting concessions from me. This is about, are we going to get unemployment benefits, which is the second part of the package, for all of these people? Are we going to get a tax cut for 160 million Americans, a $1,000 tax cut, or are you not going to get it? They've even done a countdown clock at the White House for when that middle class tax increase brought to you by the Republicans will be in effect. That is very good rhetoric, okay? So what do the Republicans want in return? They say, oh, well, I got a laundry list. I'd like a doc fix, so the doctors get paid more. I would also like a civilian federal pay freeze, of course. They did throw some carrots in there for Democrats. There would be money that would be shoring up the Social Security Trust Fund, but of course it would be spending cuts, not from taxes on the rich or anything like that. And then here comes the fun parts. They would like to block an EPA's air toxic rule for industrial boilers. So more toxins in the air is part of the price that you have to pay for a payroll tax cut if the Republicans get their way. But the main thing that they're asking for is to speed up the approval of the Keystone XL pipeline. Now, this comes from the tar sands of Canada. This is literally the biggest polluting form of energy in the world. We've talked about how it's dangerous, and there's been spills along the pipeline before. One is larger than the BP spill in its results. It would go through an environmentally very sensitive part of Nebraska to the point where even Republicans in Nebraska are worried about the effects that it would have there. So it's very controversial. President Obama has delayed that decision until after the election. Come on, let's keep it real. He didn't want to make the decision and either piss off environmentalists or piss off the Republicans and the big donors. And the big donors, of course, definitely want this Keystone pipeline. So the Republicans are saying, well, again, if we get paid off and you give us the pipeline, which is going to make our donors incredibly happy, then maybe we could consider your tax cut for the middle class. So far, the president is not negotiating. That is very good, because why should the president negotiate on what is actually a fundamentally Republican idea to begin with, tax cuts? I don't think he should. By the way, I want to be very clear on this. I don't think he should have done it anyway. I think the payroll tax cut's a dangerous idea that does deplete the Social Security Trust Fund, and I wouldn't be in favor of it. And I'm actually a deficit hawk, and I'm worried about the deficit, so I wouldn't do it. But of all the tax cuts to complain about, this is the one the Republicans say that is like drowning or being burned to death, and that the only way they'll pass it is if you pay off the oil industry. I mean, again, as always, it's Republican 101. So far, so good from President Obama on this. I love reporting that. That doesn't happen often, but he's standing strong. God bless.
So curmudgeon.
Yes.
I mean, since you hated President Obama so much,
that's right.
How confident are you that he's gonna stick to his guns on this? How long do you think this is gonna last, I guess is the question.
Well, that's a great question, Jayar. Number one, he has been strong against it, but he has not issued a veto threat. So that's your first warning, like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, right? Second of all, as soon as I saw Keystone for payroll tax and the unemployment benefits, I thought, uh-oh, that's perfect. So yeah, God, thank you for bringing that up, Jayar, because it's time to keep it real, okay? Because now I don't want to be too bah humbug, right? But the reality is, the minute I saw it, I was like, they're going to do that deal. right? Now, lately, the president's been far more progressive. So that's why you get a little faint hope that he thinks, well, I don't want to lose those progressive voters. But the reason why I think it's a perfect deal for Washington is because President Obama wanted to do the Keystone Pipeline anyway, right? That's clear from the memos inside the State Department, et cetera. It's clear from the reporting. So then he gets to do the thing that he loves to do. Oh, I had to make a deal. I got you the payroll tax cut. I got you the unemployment benefits. How about the other Republicans twisted my arm? Oh, Keystone. Okay, you win, right? So that deal is so likely. And then Obama comes out and goes, well, am I not the most bipartisan president you've ever seen? Right? And then to the environmentalists, he turns around and goes, look at those mean Republicans. Vote for me again. And what? I will buckle to them again? But I don't know. I don't know what his winning thing like. Well, and because if you don't vote for me, you'll get them, and they'll definitely do it. But you just did it. But I got a tax cut in return. But wait a minute, a tax cut's a Republican idea. Yeah, vote for me. But that hasn't happened yet. Let's give the president a chance. Let's see what happens.